One of the best is by my dear late friend David Lewis, and it's called Divine Evil. And this issue came up. Hitch actually spoke about this. Lewis develops the following argument. I'm just going to give you the barest bones of it. The Christian God, he points out, is a God of judgment and punishment. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. In fact, eternal punishment for unrepentant sinners and disbelievers, if you read the Bible literally, as Hitch said. And at least in North Korea, you get to die. It's not eternal punishment. But in heaven or in hell, it's eternal. It's this infinite pain. That seems to be the implication of the Christian Bible. Well, that's nasty, as Richard has said. How could you ever respect anybody who not only believed in but worshipped a God that was the perpetrator of infinite pain? It's so unproportional to whatever your crime is. An eternity of suffering. This is just outrageous. Can we admire the believers? Lewis asks, and he says, only if they're ignorant of the nature of the perpetrator. I'm sorry for the long quote, but it's good, and I'll pass through it quickly. He says, David Lewis says, we dodge the consequence by keeping it all in soft focus, consoling ourselves with the thought that hellfire and brimstone are mere conceits, that grown-up theists have gotten beyond the cartoon scenarios. That is probably the stance most favored by those who worship the perpetrator. Starting from their trust in God, they suppose that there must be some nice version of the story, one that will not literally end with billions of damned souls writhing in eternal agony. Non-believers have been able to excuse their religious friends on the grounds that they're probably not clear-headed about the commitments of their worship. How could you condone that your friend worshipped such an evil perpetrator? He very usefully compares this God with Hitler. We can think of them as good people who have not seen the perpetrator's dark side. In bringing the problem of divine evil to their attention, David Lewis says slyly, I am presenting them with a choice they have previously avoided. And then he ends with a lovely punchline. I may be making it impossible for myself to admire many whom I have previously liked and respected. That is part of the dynamic of this issue, is that if we push hard, as we should, on our friends and those we admire and respect, we may awkwardly find ourselves in the position of no longer being able to admire and respect those that we have previously thought rather well of, now that we've removed their confusion and imposed this knowledge on them. So there's two, and here's a third reason, and that's guilt. The guilt of the deceivers is just part of this. That is the guilt of the